look to the stars. Let's learn how to practice planetary magic with the Necronomicon.
Necronomicon is coming.
The Zonei are the great entities, or you could say principalities or powers, of the fixed stars in the Sumerian magical system. So you have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So astrologically speaking, you got to take a look at these different planets and see how you can work with them to enhance everyday life or to even embellish your own spell work. Energy of the sun, or shamash, really has to do with cleansing, with banishing things, with bringing things to light, with making things bigger, brighter, bigger, faster, stronger, that kind of thing. It's also a great revealer. If you're looking for answers to questions, then you could invoke shamash. If you are looking to take a certain personality trait or a certain talent that you have and expand it, you could invoke shamash for that. The energy of shamash also has to do with manifestation and creativity. So if you are engaging in a new project, or you want to boost in artistic abilities or creating anything, then invoke shamash while you are meditating on it or doing a spell for that specific purpose. Different day, different locale, but let's talk about Mercury energy or Nebo energy. Mercury or Nebo energy has to do with communication and money. So if you are looking to relay a message to somebody, or you are looking to bring in some more money into your life, you could invoke the Sumerian deity of Nebo to assist you. Mercury also has to do with logic and reasoning and being able to do things quickly and effectively. So if you are in the middle of a project or a writer's block, stupid phone. If you're in the middle of a project or have writer's block, or you're looking to develop something and to create something, then you could invoke Mercury energy. Basically, Mercury has a lot to do with the mind. So if you are looking to boost your communication, if you are looking to get projects started, then you can invoke Mercury energy. An interesting thing would be to, and I haven't done this, would be to invoke Mercury energy during Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde really has, the energy takes you inward. Rather than communicating outside of yourself, and rather than working with things outside of you, you are really in your head, and it kind of takes everybody away to work on things in themselves. You could really work in the astral to start projects or to create something that could benefit you in the physical world. So really, Mercury could be a very, very effective and powerful energy to invoke, to process, and to enhance creativity. Venus or Inanna energy has to do with both love and creativity. So kind of like Mercury, when you can start a project with Mercury, you could really boost your creativity with Venus energy. With the love energy of Venus or Inanna, this talks about not only relationships, but also friendships and boosting your connections with other people. So communication is one thing with Mercury, but really forming a connection and finding that feel of community and friendships is what Inanna and Venus energy is all about. You can invoke Inanna and Venus energy to help you with creativity and maybe finding more friends, or if you're feeling lonely or you're feeling a little disconnected from community and being able to be out and about with other people. Speaking Necronomicon-wise, Inanna kind of has to do with a very, very powerful being that kind of takes charge of things and might go on a bit of a vengeance to get what she wants. So from my research with the Necronomicon, Inanna takes that descent, Inanna, also known as Ishtar, takes that descent into the underworld to confront her sister. So you could even invoke Inanna energy to kind of confront negative things within yourself or with your own life. And kind of even to feel at home with yourself, as much as Inanna and Venus energy can make you feel connected with other people, it can also help you to feel connected with yourself, so you are more familiar with yourself and you are better able to handle yourself in any kind of situation and really able to open up and be one with that person that you really are. Moon energy and that of the deity Nana has to do with your own psychological forces and your personal needs, your deepest personal needs, and your basic habits and your reactions and your unconscious. If you have a negative habit that you want to kind of quash, if you have something that you do, like maybe, I'm going to go from my own experiences, maybe you mutter under your breath when you are frustrated, or maybe, you develop negative habits and you're not really able to understand why you do certain things, then Nana energy is fantastic to invoke and to change within yourself. If you really are kind of feeling at a disconnect and you want to be able to understand what that disconnect is and what you really need, then invoking Nana would be a fantastic idea. A lot of things that I've looked at and in my research, the moon and Nana have to do with the subconscious. So psychologically speaking, you're talking about a great portion of your mind that you might not even understand. I mean, I remember seeing different studies and reading different articles about how in the majority of the day, we run at a subconscious level just going through routines. And we don't even really understand why we do what we do. Like, I'm a very haptic person. Like, when I'm nervous or something, I tend to touch my face a lot. And I've kind of dumbed down on that behavior a little bit when I went through the moon gate when I did the gate walking. So really understanding yourself is what Nana is all about. So, I mean, feeling connected with yourself is what the Venus energy or the Inanna Ishtar is all about. Really understanding what you do and why you do it is a great benefit that Nana can do for you. So meditating or doing a specific spell to have access to moon energy can really help us understand ourselves. I mean, in the world, we are always trying to understand other people and other situations that we kind of leave ourselves on the wayside and we just run idle. It's like a car. Most people don't know how a car works, but we still use it. It's the same reason why invoking moon energy is fantastic, because once we understand why we do what we do, then we are more apt to change it to what we want to be. Mars or Nurgle energies really have to do with the id. They have to do with our survival instincts, our aggression, and our primal desires, which, includes food, shelter, and sex. Necronomically speaking, Nurgle is actually the spouse of Ereshkigal, the deity of the underworld. So if you want to talk underworld, you got to get into the nitty-gritty of the book here. The underworld is all of your darkest, deepest secrets, and that of the dead, the forgotten things. So when you invoke Mars or Nurgle energy, let's see if I can pronounce it Sumerian-wise, Nergal. when you invoke that kind of energy, you are going with your primal self. If you feel like you are being a little bit instinctual and you want to tone down your desires for certain things, or if you are beginning to develop an anger problem where you find yourself getting a little too angry in situations, you want to tone that down, understanding it and being able to work with it is what Nurgle energy is all about. So all of these different things have to do with understanding yourself as a person and how you can better yourself. That's why the gate walking procession is so amazingly transformative. So if you want to understand yourself, or maybe even get more aggressive, if you feel like you're not aggressive enough in situations and you feel like a little bit of a pushover, or you want to tame those different aspects of yourself that you feel might be a little bit overboard, then invoke Nergal or Mars energy. Jupiter energy, or that of the great god Marduk, is a very, very powerful energy to invoke. That's why it's so far down in the system. It's the second to last gate. Let's talk about Jupiter first. Jupiter is about expansion and optimism. So if you're feeling a little down and out, or you want to grow a certain aspect of your life, like a business or a talent, then invoke Marduk or Jupiter energy. Now, necronomically speaking, Marduk was the slayer of the great serpent Tiamat and created man. So I think that there's a little element of creativity in Marduk's energy. So you might be able to tie this in with some other aspects to really bring to light something that you want to create, something that you want to do, that you just don't have the right kick. In terms of Jupiter itself, you have the optimistic standpoint. So if you're feeling a little sad lately and you might develop a tulpa or two, you might want to invoke Marduk to really, really bring out that happy feeling that is deep in there, but you can't really get to it. There is a little bit of... I'm reading a couple of things to try to give you guys some really, really deep understanding. There's also some humor, like there's humor in Jupiter energy if you need a good laugh. There's goodwill and there's mercy with it. So really being the nicest person you can be and being the most expansive person that you can be, both for yourself and other people, is what Jupiter is all about. Think about it. Jupiter is the biggest planet. Jupiter has a great deal of gravity. So being able to attract things to you and grow those things that you want to grow is what Jupiter and Marduk is all about. And now the last one in our system, the Gate of Adar, or Saturn energy. Saturn is all about restriction and about putting limits on things. Now, you're probably thinking restriction is a bad thing, or putting limits is a bad thing, but it gives order and pattern to our world. If things feel a little crazy to you, things are a little bit out of control, and you need a little bit more of safety and security, then invoking Adar is a fantastic idea, because you're able to kind of put things in little boxes, or at least understand things a little bit more. When it comes to developing boundaries or being responsible, that's what Adar is all about. Now, necronomically speaking, Adar is the last gate in the system before you reach the gate to the outside. So it is kind of like, it's a barrier. It provides protection and understanding. In my reading of the book, it also has to do with time. If you have problems with being late to places, Adar is fantastic for you. If you feel like you need more time to work on something, or more time for yourself, or more time to do different things that you enjoy that you can't find the time to do, then invoking Adar energy would be a very beneficial thing for you to do. So how to use this planetary magic, the magic of the Zonei. I would start by making the seal either on metal or on paper and meditating with it. You could read through the invocation of the gates and get an understanding of what each Zonei deity is like, and you could meditate with it and bring that energy in, call that entity in to your ritual space. One thing that I find very effective is each gate or each seal has a number with it that's in here that you could chant the name of the deity that specific number of times as if it was a mantra, either out loud or in your head, and bring that energy in. Or however you like to feel that energy of that planet. You can make a planetary square, if anyone knows what those are. Those are squares that have specific numbers that are supposed to be allocated to different planets, or you could just use the seal of the deity and, you know, bring it into a spell work, maybe put it on your altar, work with it, meditate on it, and bring that energy in and feel it, and for that specific purpose that you are doing a spell for. So that's my take and my knowledge of the Zonei. I know it was kind of quick. I know that I could probably elaborate a little bit more on each of the Zonei given the time, but life's been a little bit stressful lately, so I'm trying to keep up with making different videos and giving, you know, my viewers a bit of an explanation. And I know that it's kind of quick, but I hope that it kind of entices you to research a little bit more and explore the system as much, if not more, than I have. So good luck with using planetary magic, and good hunting.